Are you going to start sharing the sound too? Apologies for today. Working through just a few technical issues. I think we're about ready to go.
All right, my watch says it's 1500, so get ready. I drop the gavel. Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Reed. I'm going to bring this meeting of the Airport Advisory Committee hybrid meeting for Tuesday, January 10th, 2022 to order. First order of business, let's say it like
Like the flag of the United States of America, and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, indivisible.
So with a small group like this, I like to go around the room and just have everybody introduce themselves and say their first name and why you're here. Like, I'm Tom. I am the chair. I got tricked into doing this.
Jorge, Deputy Director of Airport Management, also got tricked to doing this over the last 20 years. I'm Rich, and I'm just what we call me person of expertise. I'm not sure how expert I am, but there it is. Joel, Airtime Manager for Montgomery Field.
Then David Reed, Program Manager for Dream and Airports. That's not what I do.
Ray? Say, I'm Ray.
Aviation.
Excellent.
I'm Director.
Welcome.
Exit Charles, Program Manager.
Charles Broadbent, Airport Manager. I actually did this voluntarily.
Government managers, budget, property.
Debbie Shocker, Property Agent for Airports.
I'm Bob Basso, Aircraft Owner.
Gary List, I'm part of the user group for Brownfield EAA chapter 14.
Richard Ron, representative with the Sierra Mesa community.
Avocado, owner of San Jet Center, Brownfield. Chuck McGill, I'm the users group.
Thank you very much. So I have to read some things here that get long and boring. I was thinking I should record it and then play it back at twice the speed like they do on those ads. So in addition to be able to attend in person, this meeting is being live streamed on the city's public meeting page, and staff will continue to make arrangements for the public to comment using the Zoom webinar platform. I will go over the specifics of how to join the webinar, and we'll give details on how the public can offer their public testimony. I will now call the Airport Advisory Committee meeting of Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. Or I already did that. First, we will start with the allegiance. I already did that too. I'm gonna get out of order here. So we're gonna do roll call. Mike Ogilvy. He's not here today. Bud Gibbs, not here. Lisa Golden, not here. Gary, you're here. Chuck, you're here. Jim Aldrich, he's not here. Ron Lee.
Here.
Yeah, he's online, right? Online. Rich, you are here. Dave Gordon, he's online. Tom is here. Richard Rom, you are here. And Tom Reed, I am here. Okay, so we have a quorum. Also attending the meeting is Jorge Rubio, Deputy Director of the Airport Management, and members of his fine staff. If you are in person, please complete a speaker slip located at the entrance southwest end. You don't need to do this product, and provide it to David Reed in a timely manner to ensure proper meeting management. In-person testimony will conclude before virtual testimony begins. Members of the public can also join the webinar by computer, tablet, or smartphone by accessing the link which is listed online in the preamble language of the agenda. If you need to participate by telephone, you may dial 1-669-254-5252. Webinar ID 160-647-8929#. This information is also available on the agenda. Please note that if you're watching via online, there may be a delay. Please participate via the audio on your phone and mute your TV or computer when it's your turn to speak, and your dogs. If you wish to speak on a particular item, wait for that item to be called and then raise your hand to speak by tapping the raise your hand icon, or if you are a calling participant, *9 on your cell phone or landline. If you raise your hand during the non-comment period, your hand will be lowered gently, I'd like to say. The forum is now present. We'll start with non-agenda public comment. And that would be Mr. Basso, correct? Okay. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know how many of you know Bill Schenkel, the unofficial mayor of Flat Top, but I'd like to say a few words about him. Because he passed away on Veterans Day, in November. And he was a veteran. He was, after graduating from Ohio State, he joined the Air Force. And during that time, he suffered a severe accident, which left him without one eye and numerous broken bones in his shoulders and neck, which bothered him throughout his life. A year and a half ago, he tripped and fell on a tie-down hook in his hangar. And he fell on his back, broke his vertebrae, a number of them. He had a serious surgery which corrected it. He was recovering and he fell again in his home and broke the structure that they had built. So he's been in pain for essentially over a year. But he was on the airport here for 58 years. Wow. 53 of them on month-to-month rents. So much for month-to-month rents. He had a 1952 Bonanza that he bought and put 8,000 hours on it and went through 5 engines. His life work was a insurance investigator and estimator for AIG Aircraft Insurance Company. So he made many trips throughout Mexico and Baja and even England and other countries, surveying wrecks and finding ways in many cases to bring aircraft back to San Diego. He carried with him these get out of jail letters from several Mexican presidents. So when he had to use surreptitious means of getting aircraft back, and he was nabbed by the federales, he would pull out his get out of jail letter. And it worked in all but one case in which he spent some time in jail. But he didn't. He was at his hangar every day, promptly from 10 a.m. to promptly 3 p.m. So his essentially office hours were there. There were so many people who would visit his hangars. On one day, I asked him if he was going to have valet parking. His hangar was adorned with photos of aircraft accidents that he had investigated. Some of them involved 727s and other aircraft other than what we know here at this airport. He fondly called this area the head shed. And the head shed, anything we wanted to know about the head shed, we just go see the mayor. He had the scoop. And I'm sure his relationship with you folks was always humorous and enjoyable. He was attended by his good friend Ray Mann, who helped him through this last year, and without her help, he would have been long ago passed away. Anyway, she's an angel, and I'm sure with all those of us who know him well, we miss Bill Schenkel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. David, do we have anybody else with knowledge in the public?
We do not at this time.
Okay. Right, we are now on number 4, the approval of minutes from the November 8th, 2022 meeting. Everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes. We have any public comment on the minutes?
Okay. No, we do not.
Mr. McGill has made a motion to approve the
I'll
moments.
second.
Been seconded. Any further discussion? We'll call for the vote. All approved.
Aye.
And we have, can you see virtual votes?
Ron Lee said aye,
Okay,
and Dave.
Dave Gordon abstains. I never got a copy of the minutes or the agenda.
I'll email it to you right now. So they were without any errors. Thank you very much. Okay, so that motion passes. Item number 5 is unfinished business, and there are no unfinished items, so number 6. And number 6 is new business, approval of proposed airport advisory committee regular meeting calendar for 2022. Staff is requesting that the AAC schedule a public meeting for Wednesday instead of Tuesday to avoid conflicts with the city council public meeting that takes place on Tuesdays. Do we have any public comment on moving the meeting to Wednesday? Does anybody have any objections to the new calendar? No. Okay. Do you have anything to say about that?
It's just that it was fortunate for us that we have never experienced an issue with the city council, and they hold the meetings on Mondays and Tuesdays, and sometimes I've had to stay a little bit longer when we didn't have meetings here, at city council meetings. So this is a good opportunity for us to catch up and just to make sure that our meetings are going to continue to run the way they're supposed to, Wednesdays instead of Tuesdays.
Great. I'm fine with Tuesday myself. So do we need to vote on this?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the proposed new schedule? 1, 2,
Aye.
5, 6. Lon says aye. Okay. All opposed? There are no opposition, and anybody abstaining? All right, that motion passes. And Dave Gordon, I just sent that, so that should be inbox momentarily.
Thank you.
We will now move to informational items number 7. We do not require a vote. And that is starting with the staff report. So I will turn it over to Director Rubio.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Can I believe that the Otay Mesa planning group meetings are the second Wednesday of the month? Which could be a conflict for some people, because like I'm on Otay Mesa planning group. And since I just dawned on me after we made that vote. So I don't know how to do that. Or, I represent the airport's advisory committee to the Otay Mesa planning group. I don't know how I can attend both meetings. Sorry to put that wrench in the works.
What time is that meeting?
3 o'clock also.
3 o'clock. Okay. Well,
If I didn't represent the airports to them, it would be a conflict, obviously, but given that I'm representative of the airports,
is it also on the second Wednesday of the month?
I need to confirm that it's either the second or the third. It's like literally always the week after our meeting here. And ours is always the first Tuesday, right?
Right.
So it's
it
always
the
the
week
second,
after.
but it's always the second Wednesday. If we move it to the second Wednesday, then
I thought we were moving it just to the Wednesday instead of Tuesday.
Yeah, it's that, but right now we're on the second, it's Tuesday, so it'll be the second Wednesday, so it's a day after.
it might be the third. I've been on it so long, I can't remember if it's what, we haven't ever talked recently about that, so we should probably confirm that,
Yeah,
so that it's not a conflict.
we can always bring this up again.
Okay, you gotta attend both of them, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get their notice this Friday.
Okay.
Okay,
The good
so
thing
we're
about
not gonna change the week, we're just gonna change the day,
Okay,
then I think we're fine.
okay, it's just a good one.
Yeah, but okay, that sounds good.
Thanks.
staff reports.
Okay, well, that was great. Well, happy New Year, everyone. I know we didn't have our December meeting. We've been busy. We did take some time off also to spend with our families, the ones that could. But last time we met, I related to you that we were going to be going up to LA to meet with the FAA to try to get some capital improvement funding. The drive did not happen, but the meeting did happen virtually. And what I can tell you is that we are trying to look for the best interest of our airports, and we're trying to secure some funding. So for fiscal year 23, we are looking to upgrade the security access control system for the gates at Brownfield. The cost for that is about $600,000. That's the total cost. We're hoping that we'll contribute about 5 to 10% of those costs. But I just wanted to let you know that right now that's actually going through the application process with the FAA. Also, in fiscal year 23-24, we will be applying for grants to design and reconstruct the transient ramp here at Montgomery Gibbs. That comes to a cost of about $3.1 million. 2023 is going to be for design, 2024 is going to be for construction. As you may notice, that's a really hefty cost, but again, we're hoping that 90% of those costs are going to be covered by the FAA. In the meantime, we understand that there are some concerns with users that have a heavier aircraft, and we are coordinating with our FBOs, trying to make sure that the heavier aircraft stay off the pavement. We haven't really seen any issues at the moment with smaller aircraft, lighter aircraft, so those can continue to operate normally on the route. In fiscal year 24, we will be applying for grants to resurface runway 8 right, 26 left at Brownfield. We've been working with that, and we're going to be doing that along with some taxiway work as well. Was that somebody trying to get a hold of me? Okay, no, sorry. Okay, no problem. In regards to the tank for unleaded fuels, there was a minor change to the plan, I would say, on the terms of the location. We were looking to put it towards the east end of the parking lot, but in talking with some of our tenants, it was probably going to be affecting the redevelopment for neighboring parcels. So the only thing that is changing is instead of being all the way on the east end, kind of like in the parking lot, we're moving it in between this terminal and the east end of the parking lot. Aircraft are still going to be able to go, sell fuel with assistance, and nothing else really changes. The project has been moved from preliminary design to design through engineering and capital projects, and that's the city entity that is managing the project. We're overseeing it, but they're the ones who actually manage the project itself. Now, with design, they need to complete 20% of design in order for us to move that forward, to put it through NEPA, that's the National Environmental Protection Agency, for their review. So we need to get environmental clearance. And then the other thing that we are doing is we are updating our airport layout plan for that specific aspect, because the location of any infrastructure that we put at the airport needs to be shown on the airport layout plan that needs to be approved by the FAA. So those are the things that we're doing. We're not stopping the design process, we're not stopping anything. Those are side steps that we're taking simultaneously. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. And the objective obviously is to install the tank as quickly as possible, and also to make sure that we are as efficient as we can with it. So that's in the works. In the same regard, something that hasn't really been touched here is sustainable aviation fuel. That's an alternate to jet fuel that has less emissions. So one of the White House's goals is to reduce greenhouse emissions from jet fuel by transitioning into sustainable aviation fuels. And what the White House did is they issued a document a few weeks ago. It's called a Guidebook to Inflation Reduction Act Investments in Clean Energy and Climate Action. So what does that do for us? Well, what it does is it provides $245 million of funding, of grant opportunity funding, for any entities that are involved with SAF, sustainable aviation fuel. And it has to deal with production, transportation, blending, and for our FPOs, the storage of aviation fuel. And the objective is obviously to accelerate the process so that sustainable aviation fuel hits up our markets, hits our air transportation system as quickly as it can. And the reason why I am mentioning this is because we think that the FPOs that sell jet fuel here can benefit and could potentially apply for grant funding if they're looking to improve their storage facilities or add additional storage facilities. So this may be an opportunity for the FPOs to do it. We as the city, probably not qualify at this point because we do not sell aviation, or we do not sell jet fuel, but our fuels could benefit from it. We'll be happy to provide more information to anyone that's interested. Feel free to reach out to me after the meeting. Changing topic a little bit. I know there has been some frustration from airport tenants regarding the collection of fees from hangars and not you for sure. You know, that's something that we've been trying to fix, and even though we're not able to provide at the moment a way to pay online, we're working with the treasurer's office to do that. But in the meantime, we are looking to make Montgomery Gibbs the place where the checks come in, so we can scan them and we can see who's paying, who's not, and if the actual late fees apply or not. Now, what we will also do is we have a collecting deposit boxes basically here, the white one that you see behind. Tenants will be able to deposit their checks there too. And then somebody from staff will be able to scan them and process them correctly. At this point, we are working with the Treasury Department to figure out the procedure itself, identify responsible parties within our department, and then we will roll it out. But I wanted to let you know that's in the works. I think that's some great progress that we've been able to make together with the Treasurer's Department. And we hope that that alleviates the situation a little bit. We're just trying to make sure that we provide a better customer service. Thank you. Some good news for the new year, I would say. You probably remember that we were trying to sell the ARCA property just south of Pearl Drive. We had an interest on the property of about 51%. That sale closed in November, but we were hoping for the amount to hit our books. And that finally happened in the last 2 weeks or so. And we received about $3.5 million for capital improvements at the airports. So that money cannot be used for operations. It's only for capital improvement, but that's going to help us with any of the large projects that we have coming up, where we actually need to contribute that 10%, or whenever the FAA doesn't want to pay for something like that, we'll be able to do so. And not only that, but I'm not gonna steal Charlie's thunder on it, but he's going to be talking about the smaller project that we have, and that's going to be one of the projects that we use that funding for. And last but not least, my report is San Diego Airport. They are about to start working on the FPO. They are hoping to actually break ground sometime in February, at the latest in March. So they're working on all of their magic. It's a project that has been taking a long time to come to this point, and they've been working on it since 2007. Since I've been here for the last 3 years, I came and I assisted them with the EA and all the other processes, and the staff, all of the people that you see here, they've been on meetings every single week. I don't want to say every day, just trying to make sure that, you know, a project of this magnitude takes off, and it's about to do so. That's what I have for my report. And if anybody has questions, please ask me now. Otherwise, I can pass it on to the rest of my staff. Yes, sir.
When they relocate proposed unleaded fuel tank, how many additional transit parking is
2
for a total of?
We have 10 now.
So one of the things that we'll be doing is we are, it's a longer process. Remember, we're getting a grant to redesign the ramp, to resurface the ramp. At that point, we're actually going to be proposing to redesign the ramp so that the tie-down rows go perpendicular to the runway or to the taxiway, so that you're able to get more aircraft and are able to back it in, back it out. So we're trying to make sure that that happens, but obviously it's not going to be for the next 2 years before we get there. But it's in the works. So we're trying to act as efficiently as we can on it, trying to minimize the impact to the tenants.
And if
I may comment on the bill collection. And I may be stating the obvious, but it would be ideal if we could have something where it's automatic every month that you can go account, grab the money, regardless of whether it changed by a little bit or not. So, I was never going to, I never get that library.
Oh, and those are the type of issues that we're trying to fix, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so let's, what I have, from Charlie, go ahead.
Okay,
From
all right.
Montgomery Gibbs.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just to report, there are over 22,000 operations in December. And then that brings the total number of operations for the calendar year of 2022 to about 307,191. So a lot of operations, and that excludes overflights. So that's just actual operations that are landing or taking off or doing touch and goes. The airfield lighting computer has crashed, and we're working on procuring a new one through E. Cooper Kraus Hines. Right now, we are able to turn the lights on and off through the lighting vaults, but we're hoping to get that computer replaced soon. And then we're also gathering 5 quotes to repair the failed asphalt in the Flaxel, in the Marigold area. And so we're going ahead with that project. We're collecting the 5 quotes, and then we'll submit them to purchasing and contracting and get the purchase order going, and then get that area fixed.
Charlie, do you have a timeline on that estimate?
The estimates are coming in right now, so I'm hoping to get all the estimates in the next 2 weeks and then submit it to purchasing and contracting. So hopefully, we're looking at mid-February or hopefully, I mean, it could be 3 months, but hopefully we're trying to get it done as quick as possible.
Thank you very much. That is a problem.
Gate 9 is down right now. We've ordered the new drive wheels to get that operational again. We're working on scheduling the airfield striping for the vehicle service road on the ramp out here, and then those position markers and refreshing some of the markings there. That'll happen in late January. And then sorry to announce that Senior Airport Operations Assistant Joel Huey, he accepted another job with the County of San Diego as a airport operations coordinator. He's at Gillespie Field Airport, so not too far away if you want to go visit, but he's left us. And then we're conducting interviews tomorrow for the 2 vacant airport operations assistant positions, and so we're working on filling those, and then we'll fill the senior positions at a later date. That's all I have. If there's any questions. Yeah, go ahead.
On the monthly operations reports, you list how many base aircraft there are at the airport. And it looks like between November and December, we lost like 17 airplanes, 13 airplanes.
Yeah, basically go in and update the reports. And so during that time, it was discovered that those aircraft are no longer based on the airfield. Sometimes it's that other airfields have claimed that they're based at their airfield now, and so they request me to update the list. So some of those numbers are a little higher sometimes when we're waiting to verify if the airplane is actually on the airfield, and then when we find that it's not, we update the list. So
that doesn't reflect it. There's 15 more parking places.
it doesn't necessarily reflect that, unfortunately. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
Sure.
So the story project that Charlie mentioned, that's the one that I was mentioning, that the 3.5.
Yes.
Andy, airport manager for Brownfield, virtual, is he online?
He's online, yeah.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to start with the ops count. Boy, we did about 1/3 of what Montgomery Field did. We did 90. I'm going to round it up. We did 95,000 operations last year. So we were down about 10% from the previous year, which was 106,000 operations. I'm gonna start with some of the stuff that we left off on
He's up here, but not there.
last time. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can't see it though.
Let me see if I can,
I don't think it's you, it's us.
there, how's that?
I can see Andy, but it's nice
Okay.
to see things. Can't see
Okay,
on
so
the
it doesn't
projector.
matter. All right, so anyways, gates. Since the last time we met, we've had a lot of gate stuff that happened. One of the things in December, we had a drunk driver run through our south perimeter fence. So we've got 2 panels there that are currently damaged and have been breached. So we're working on getting those repaired. Gate 5, I believe last time I told you it was down. It has since been repaired. Gate 4 is its operation is erratic. We're working on getting that repaired as well. We had some damage due to some rats, and the loop detector's been failing, so we're going to get that replaced. Gate 1, we just had a brand new gate phone installed there. Nice, pretty new gate phone, and hopefully that'll serve us well. So all those gate items have been taken care of. Another item in line with preparation for San Diego Air Park, the tripads were removed over here on the south side of the field, just south of the terminal building. Those were removed in preparation for the San Diego Air Park development. They were actually used as part of the mitigation development that's happening on the north side of the airport currently. We also did some pothole repair on Coran Street prior to the rain. So we got a bunch of potholes repaired out there. We also, right before the rain came, got a mow done from Powerland. And that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions?
We don't see any hands over here. Andy, thank you very much.
The one thing that I would like to add to Andy's report, and maybe to you, Joel, sorry, is that the FAA through bill funding, they're going to be redoing the parking lot for the tower on Brownfield. The work is actually scheduled to start on Monday, even though it's a holiday. And they're also going to be replacing that fence there. And there's some work also happening here at Montgomery, but I'll let Joel talk about that. So as you can see, nothing is slowing us down. Enzo Charles, Program Manager for Airport Property Management.
Hello, everyone. I'll start with Brownfield. Staff is working with the city attorney for the possession of the ARBE leasehold, Aubrey leasehold. Staff is also drafting a new lease for the San Diego Community College. We are also reviewing the CBP memorandum of understanding of agreement between the city and CBP on the San Diego Airport premises to provide the permanent facilities for CBP. Montgomery Field, we are working with the city attorney's office regarding the Sheraton Four Points Hotel settlement offer. Hotel has a potential buyer, so we are hopefully moving along there. At the Montgomery Field office complex, we're preparing a RFP for services of a property management company to manage the 3 buildings and retail center. Staff is also working on an MOU for Development Service Department to take 2 suites at the 8525 Gibbs building for a total of 4,700 square feet, which will bring in approximately $7,670 per month. Staff is also working on an MOU for additional city department to take space at the 8665 Gibbs building, approximately 30,000 square feet there, with the monthly grant of $51,000. We're still determining what the needs are and how to build out spaces. At the 8525 building, the cooling tower replacement was completed last week of December. The retail refurbishment project, the tenants have approved their new sign design. The sign company will be obtaining permits of fabricating and installing their signs. The partial roofing project is near completion. And we currently have 3 tie downs available at the city hangar west, known as Lot 8A. We are also holding interviews to fill vacancies in our team.
And just to prove I was listening, or maybe I misheard, the property that has 400,000 square feet, it's off 7,000 a month,
No, 4,700, right?
4,700
Yes.
square feet. Okay, there we go, and that puts off 7,000.
Yes,
That's
much better.
I was gonna ask for some space in that building.
Just one last comment. I apologize, Andrea. I forget to acknowledge you. Andrea Berlanga is actually replacing, in a sense, Millie. Millie used to handle our payroll duties, but we reclassified the position so that Andrea can help us a little bit more with the preparation of the packets. So she works on that with David. She's training on that. She will be working on the minutes once we are done. And she's also going to be assisting me on doing some of the other duties that I get to do and with my calendar. So if somebody needs an appointment with me, she'll be the one putting it on my calendar. She's gonna help me that way. And look forward to working with you, John.
Welcome. So Millie's no longer doing.
Millie's no longer with us.
She's somewhere else.
She's still on site, but she's working for engineering and capital projects.
When I say my mother's no longer with us, it means something else.
Yes.
So thank you. It's always good to have somebody taking minutes other than me.
And that completes our stuff.
Thank you so much. Mr. Ryan, floor is yours. Tell us about the air traffic control tower.
Happy New Year, everyone. Nothing really changed from last time I was here. Staffing is still the same. We are slowly trickling in new controllers, but they're, it's going to take time for them to train up to work on. So staffing is the issue. Our total air traffic operation was over 315,000 for the year. And I don't think it's a true number because we had reduced services throughout the whole year. So that's our actual number, a little over 315 here. We have a construction going on. We're starting next week for our parking lot to refurbish all of that. That's it.
Now I gotta tell you, every time I fly and I listen to those guys talk on the radio and keep everybody separated, when there's Learjets and Stearmans and Piper Cutts and people that won't call back and people that won't say they, tearing them on their runway assignment. You guys got the best crew in the world up there.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And that goes in the minutes. If I can just take it aside, I heard something funny, because the traffic controller is crazy busy, maybe the busiest I've ever seen it. I've been flying here for more than 30 years. And the traffic controller politely said, all aircraft waiting to depart, stand by. And guy called in and said he wanted to leave. And so the traffic controller repeated back, all traffic want to depart, please stand by. Guy called back in and said he was waiting on 28 left and he wanted to go. And the air traffic controller, another voice came in behind and said, I know you want to leave. An unofficial comment, but one that got the point across. I guess it was funnier for them. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. All right, we are going to other reports, item 7C. We have any comments on any of this?
I would like to maybe clarify something in your reports. On the last page of the reports, you're actually going to see what I had promised you, which is the master plan update report that we're going to be seeing. And that's just something for your information. You're going to be seeing that monthly, so just as an FYI, If you have any questions, feel free to ask, but that's the report.
Thank you very much. Do we have any committee comments? I have one committee comment, and that is that Bob Basso, who was here earlier, had asked to be on the agenda for February to present regarding the lease extensions for the variable leases. Is that something we need to do officially? Put him on the agenda, or he just shows up and speaks for his 2 minutes?
Well, we probably need to talk a little bit more about it because
You're working on it.
yes,
Okay.
so I would like to understand a little bit more.
We'll just say, never mind.
He does have the presentation about the history of Montgomery Field.
Okay,
So
I'd be worth it to have him come and.
I mean, that's great.
Okay. So he's a great guy,
But we will, yeah, but we wouldn't be ready next month to talk about the
no, I don't think that's his intent.
no, he just wants to bring it up as a subject. Okay, so we'll ask that if Bob Basso wants to present a short presentation on Marigold and history of Marigold, we'll put it on the agenda. All right, my favorite item, number 9, adjournment, and the only thing I have to correct is the next scheduled meeting will be on February 8th. February 8th. So here it comes the gavel, everybody get ready. Thank you very much for attending, guys. I know it was a long drive.
Thank you.
those,
No, I haven't. Yeah.